Hi, it's Sherri from A Quilting Life, and I'm here today to share my February Works in Progress video. It's been kind of a different month for me, as you'll find out when we get going, but I've been sewing a lot, and I do have some really fun things to share with you today. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so I'm here for the February Works in Progress video, and I have to tell you this has been a little bit different of a month. I went to a quilt retreat at the end of January and came home sick and lost a little bit of time, but I am so busy right now sewing quilts and projects from our next fabric collection. And unfortunately, I can't share any of that with you. What I can tell you is that we'll be sharing that very, very early in March, and that I have 8 projects that I'm making with that. 3 of them are, well, actually 4 of them are a little bit smaller, but the 4 small projects are all done. 2 of the big projects are done. One of the big projects I'm hoping to finish in the next day or 2, and the final project, I actually have 460 half square triangles already sewn for that project, so it hopefully will go together pretty quickly. So I will be sharing all of those things with you in March, but a couple things that I wanted to share with you today. First of all, I am keeping up with socialites. These little blocks have just been such a delight to work with, and I feel like I showed you a lot of these, probably just the few that you haven't seen. Maybe at least that many probably that you haven't seen, but I'm just continuing to work on them with our favorite things collection, and sometimes throwing in a little bit from other collections. The most recent one, this is the Crazy Christmas Star block, and it's designed by Corey Yoder, and it might be my favorite so far. Just really, really tiny little flying geese, and really have had fun with these. So this is block 16. There are going to be 24 blocks total, which means I only have 8 left, and then I'll be putting them together in a fun setting. So I'm going to actually try, as soon as I finish all of the new fabric sewing, to just get this done and have it just ready to be quilted. So this has been really a lot of fun. This I just had to share. When I was at the quilt retreat that I mentioned at the end of January, I actually taught a class on my country home bench pillow, and I needed to make a sample block to help my class, and decided, because it was, coming up on Valentine's Day, decided to use our Sincerely Yours collection. And I ended up loving this house so much that I am going to make the full bench pillow with these fabrics. So I know it's after Valentine's Day, and I'll probably be sharing this with you next month in March, but I am going to get that bench pillow finished up from the country home pattern in my Sincerely Yours fabrics, because I just thought it was such a fun design and had so much fun making this. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is a sew along that I am definitely going to participate in. I just got my American Patchwork and Quilting magazine. This is actually they always come out early, so let's see. April 2023 issue. Okay, so the April 2023 issue, and the cover quilt is designed by my friend Lisa Alexander, who is also the marketing director for Moda Fabrics. And Lisa is the scrap quilt queen. I always love her designs. This is a really fun, you're just making a whole bunch of different 9 patches in all different sizes, and it is going to be their Scrappy Quilt Along for 2023, and it is going to start, let me look and be sure of the date. They have it all mapped out for you. So if you pick up this magazine, yeah, so here's the schedule. Week 1 is actually February 20th, and that is right when today's video is airing, and it's Gather Your Fabrics this week. So, and then they've got it all mapped out for 8 weeks, and it tells you exactly, next week we're going to be making A and B blocks, and then the next week C and D blocks, and then the next week E and F, G and H, I and J, K-L&M, and then the final week is assembly. So if you have a lot of scraps and you want to get something going with this sew along, it really does. This week is just a kind of an off week to get your fabrics together and start sewing next week. So I just really wanted to point this out. I thought this would just be a great Scrappy quilt along. And I am just going to use my scraps, like they said, and I'm just going to take it week by week. So I'm really excited about this and really happy for my friend Lisa, who has the quilt on the cover. Something else I wanted to share. This is called Meet Me in the Garden, and it was a stitch along and a quilt along, and the pattern was designed by my friend Val Krieger, who does a lot of my quilting, and just gorgeous. And she actually filmed a whole series of videos for this with Lisa Bonjean, and I just did not have time to participate when they were sewing along. It's a ruler-based quilt, so it uses several specialty rulers, but I just thought I would mention it because those videos are still available if you want to watch them and sew along with Val. I am definitely going to make this too. There are actually two options, this king size quilt, and then also there's a row quilt version, like a wall hanging size. So the king size is 104 by 104, and I don't see the row quilt size in here. But I picked up the pattern from Val. She happened to be teaching also at the retreat that I was attending, and I said, hey, I have got to get that pattern and put that on my list. So this is something I'm also thinking about for when I finish the APQ. I feel like this one I'm going to start first, and then I'm going to work on this one. Okay, so I have something else really fun to share with you today. I am also going to be sewing along. This quilt along is the Bountiful Charity Quilt Along from Fat Quarter Shop. This is actually their 10th anniversary of doing a charity quilt along where the proceeds that they raise go to a charitable foundation. These proceeds are going to the Make-A-Wish of Central and South Texas, and they've been working with this charity for many years. And what they do is they offer these patterns for free monthly, but they do ask you if you could make at least a $5 donation to the charity. They have all sorts of bonus things that they also release when their fundraising gets to certain amounts. But they sent this quilt for me to share with all of you, and I was super excited to get it in the mail. It is called Bountiful. It was designed by Corey Yoder, and it uses her sun-washed fabric collection, which just became available. And this quilt was actually quilted by Nova Birchfield, who works behind the scenes a lot at Fat Quarter Shop doing just amazing things. I just love Nova. She's a good friend of mine. There is also a kit available for this quilt. Before we end, I'm going to show you the back because there's a fun pieced backing on this quilt as well. But first I'm going to show you the quilt, and Fat Quarter Shop sent this along for me to share with you. And it comes in this beautifully designed box. It has a magnetic kind of flap, and you get, this is the wonderful thing about the kit, is that you get all the fabrics that you need, including background, to make the quilt just as they have it pictured. You'll have everything that you need, but you also get, if you buy the kit, you get all of the patterns. For the entire quilt along, you get them up front right now. You don't have to wait for the monthly release dates, which I believe are the first Friday of the month from March 3rd up until the first Friday in August. So there are only a limited number of kits, and once they're sold out, they're gone. But if you don't like waiting for the patterns and you want to make the quilt in the same fabrics as Fat Quarter Shop, the kit is a great option, and the box is really beautiful. Okay, I'm going to actually turn this quilt over now and show you the fun pieced back. Well, first, actually, I'm going to tell you, Chelsea, my daughter, is also going to be sewing along with this. She is going to be using fabrics from our new collection that we'll be sharing in March, so I can't tell you what that's called yet. But I am going to sew along with our Favorite Things collection. And I'm really, really excited to do that because Chelsea made a quilt with our favorite things collection that wasn't super Christmassy just because of the different fabrics that she used and the placement of them. And I thought this would be really, really fun. I haven't decided if I'm going to make it Christmassy or not Christmassy, but I am going to use the favorite things collection for sure with this. And I'm really, really excited to get started and share my progress with you. But I do want to flip it over because the back is just adorable. Okay, and so you can see the back has this pieced section with the butterflies and the little flowers and the petals, and just really, really, really cute. Love the fabric that they used. I believe that the backing does not come with the kit. The kit is for the quilt top only and also includes the binding. But Fabric Quarter Shop does have a separate kit that you can get that has this fabric and then all the fabrics that you need for the pieced back. So just a really, really fun project. You can work on it with your own fabric collection. If you don't want to buy the kit, you can use your scraps. I feel like it's a great stash busting quilt and also for a great cause. Okay, so that's it for my February works in progress. As I mentioned earlier, I'm going to have a whole bunch of things to share with you really, really soon. So stay tuned. I've been working very, very hard behind the scenes. If you loved today's video, please share it with a friend, hit the like button, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for stopping by.